Hey, my boys. Okay, I'm gonna play this.
This coven can't seem to get their crap together any more than this witch can. And we're going to talk about the consequences of things. So first of all, let's define the difference between being under divine judgment and getting your karma. Karma is the consequence of an action. The consequence of an action can be positive or
The
negative.
community surrounding the criminal karmic witches needed to understand
the work that I have done for God over the course of
judgment and karma.
many lifetimes is harvesting me positive consequences. So you can't have both.
Karma's gonna slap in the face right now.
Doesn't matter what you call it. It is what it is. It's all the same. That's one thing. People will get that for. I mean, we all know what we get.
Hungry.
Right? We don't need to go into.
And usually, since I don't really go outside,
something is done that's so egregious that it has to go to
I cry.
court.
I will walk and eat. And since I'm listening to this, I have to do this at the same time because I have to think about it and they want me to make a video. So.
Judgment while evidence is gathered, and yes, there is spiritual evidence gathered as much on the 5D as there is in the 3D.
Everywhere, it's been collected.
There are people who are brought to testify in spiritual court. Evidence is presented in spiritual court. People are allowed to defend themselves in spiritual court, and there are judges. Any other lifetime, I would be one of those judges. However, because I am on earth this time and I am fulfilling a mission, I am not the judge this lifetime. Having said that, when you're under divine judgment, you don't get to manifest. You don't get to. You can earn your regular salary, but it would not surprise me at all if you lost it. You will essentially, it will manifest in the form of bad luck. People often mistake that karma isn't going to come back around, and I know I'm kind of interchanging the two, but there's a point I'm making here. People often think that karma isn't going to come back around because it doesn't manifest in a tit for tat the same way that they gave out that karma. So if you gave out your karma stealing from a person, people assume that because they didn't get stolen from.
Now this is going to hit everyone in the face because the Bible is also coded. And whoever uncovers that there is codes in the Bible, understand that there is fucking more.
What they may have misunderstood is that the money that they stole was A, protected, and it's not. Anything you steal is not protected. But B, the second thing they might have
that all this bloodshed could have been prevented.
From when in fact the universe may have decided to cause them a medical accident, an accident that caused them a bill that was going to, take a lot of that money away that they stole. I mean, there's a thousand different ways to apply karma, and it's not always going to look tit for tat. And that is where people misapply that karma isn't hitting them at all. Oftentimes it is.
Well, it is, yeah. It is.
The same manner that it was given out.
It comes in forms of loved ones. It comes in forms of other things.
Once the verdict in spiritual court has been rendered, and the person is found guilty or not guilty, depending on the circumstances, that trickles down to the 3D.
And so whatever you do also will affect your loved ones. So good karma. So as long as you're doing good, you know that there's got to be good karma coming your way to your kids. And if not, and if your kids were ever mistreated and you're doing good, then there's going to be hell to pay. Britney Spears. I'm waiting. This is why I'm so excited, because Britney Spears is doing so good, and her kids are going to know the truth. Her kids are going to find out, because there's mothers like this, like me, that are going to fight. That's fucking wrong. You don't go and fucking bash another mom out on how to raise her kids. What the fuck? I needed my boys.
I was, and they were able to dump their karma on me.
I need my boys. I need my kids.
They were only able to because I was vibrating on a frequency that was close to their own. They can no longer do this to me now, but I'm telling all of you this because they will absolutely not hesitate to dump their karma on each of you to avoid having to deal with the penalties of what they've done for themselves. They're still searching high and low and in and out for any way to get out of it all, especially princess. Now,
don't believe in God.
I know because I was the volunteer
But
victim.
we're
This was
being
a
aggressive.
premeditated plot by the divine to trap all of these people all at once. And that's why they're all frantic and like scared little cockroaches because they know they're being caught. And that's why you see me so stoic, I guess. So calm because I knew this was going to happen. I've seen it, I knew it. I'm sorry, it's not me being cocky, it's just why would I panic when I know what the outcome is? And I could be more dramatic than that, but it's not my style.
Like, I know I'm gonna die, I know it's gonna be, I want it to be beautiful, but it's like, fuck, I want my kids, this is not how I imagined it.
Every step of the way. And they were so darn sure that I was fake. They had the community in on this fake human experiment. I don't even know if it was fake, but they did do it regardless of the human experiment. They were monitoring my stats, they were monitoring me. They were violating me, and they were
So a lot of things are going to happen. People are going to be like overly emotional. The fights are going to break out. Things because of what's happening.
And I wish that was not the case, but it is absolutely. They have no desire in any of us, romantically or anything else. They desire us for our energy, and that's the beginning and the end of it. There's no romantic interest in any of you who try to make yourselves believe that, or just literally, you're bumping your head into a brick wall. There's no desire. There's absolutely none. And even if any of my exes showed up today and told me they were undyingly in love with me, I would never believe it. I would
So
never.
I know, boys, when I'm dead and gone, those cemeteries are still going to be there. And that's where I was.
Protected me, have not told the truth, and I know that
Every
they need my
time.
energy to live. There's no world I would believe any of them. And that's
There's no place I'd rather be than
not
at the
one of them
cemetery.
is done
So
right by me. Not one.
I did it. I just want to go home.
The only person by the only 3 people that I can tell by my estimate that have done right by me.
That's
Is
so
that detective?
crazy.
I'm
It's
not
like a
calling you a
marathon.
detective. I'm not here to show
Like I
you.
finally hear the gunshot in my head and
Detective
I'm
that's been
like
investigating my
running,
case. The lawyer
ready
that's
to give
investigating my case.
the person
And I'm
like
calling
the
her
information
PR.
that I find
That's also
next to the next person.
To my knowledge, those are the
That's
3
what
people
I
who've done
get.
right by me, and those do not include people from my past. Even if, for example, the judge's wife, I'm sorry, my love, but you are also under judgment because you knew what your husband was doing, and you chose not to speak truth. I'm not telling you this because I want you to hurt, and I'm not telling you this because I have anger towards you or I want you to feel pain. I'm telling you this so you understand why you're feeling this generational curse onto it, and that you understand that in order to break that, you will have to find one in your family
to
line
me,
like me who is willing to
you
suffer
knew.
that much karma to clean up that mess, because that is what was going to be required for each of your family bloodlines.
And knowing my mom does not care, I just can't imagine you're doing the same thing to me. I just can't see it, but I know that my dad's saying he's doing a number on you. He's doing a number on you. And what I saw, what your family was doing with your ears being red, and the whole body, you are not the person that I saw. So you are, it's scary. I'm looking at you as a pedophile, and I'm like, I don't want to do anybody else anymore. Dad, can you please help me? I'm scared of these pedophiles. Please, Dad. And it's sad because my dad, I watched my dad look at other children the same age as me, looking at them like if it was attracting to him. But my mom would do the same shit when she was in the car. And it was just gross. It really was. That's why I like covering up some things. It's just, I have to just be comfortable, but I can't because I have a parent like that. And then for me to get taken advantage in a house that it was families, a family house, a family took advantage of me. And this time it was in my blood.
I have to do it every day. I have to wake up knowing that one of these days this hits could actually work, or the magic might actually work. I have to wake up every day blessed in that.
And I'm
all
not
of
even
you
believing in
would you
God.
stand up
I'm
and tell
asking
the
my
truth despite
ancestors.
what could be done to you?
I'm going
Would
through
you
all
do
the
so having
gods.
faith that He will keep you safe? That
I
is what
have
is being
faith that all
demanded
my
and
gods are
required from
helping
you
me,
because
all
you're told
my
not to
all
do
my
that.
ancestors, all my
That is why you
warriors
are
are
going
helping
through
me,
what
all
you're
these
going through.
children.
I'm
A
not
lot of
judging.
children, that's
I'm
the
not.
thing, a
Because
lot
your
of
choices are
kids,
your own and only you know why you
including
made
my
them.
baby.
But I am explaining to you so that you understand why you are under divine judgment. It is our responsibility as healers, as messengers, as children of God, children who
She's
aspire
not,
to be with God for
to me, she's just spreading more
to stand
bullshit.
up and wrong
She's
for
not
being
even
done.
helping out.
Because
She's
when we
just
say
spreading
nothing,
more like
we are allowing
hate.
it, we are enabling it, we are condoning it, we are agreeing with it.
What about the kids? Why is this taking so
That is
long?
true.
Why is she just now barely here?
You probably had very valid reasons in your mind for doing the things that you did. Making
Where in the fuck was she
And
at?
I'm sure in your mind they added
She's fucking
up
older than
this
me.
one is two. I'm making sense. I don't have a choice. Unfortunately, my
And
life
now
is
everyone's
telling
gonna
us that
blame
we don't have a
Hollywood.
choice.
Everyone's gonna blame these
It doesn't mean that we
celebrities
don't
like
have a
Beyonce,
choice. It means that we
and
don't like
Doja
the options in
Cat.
front of us.
They
And so
all
sometimes
had.
we get to have to
Hollywood
not
is that
making a choice because we don't like the
cauldron. Still
choices
cauldron.
presented to us. I'm sorry, honey. Life is not always about doing the things that you like and don't like. A lot of times it's doing the things that we don't like and being adults, sucking it up and going through it anyway, because that's what we're supposed to do.
No.
Life is not all parties. Life is not all games. Life is not all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This life we are here to learn. We have a responsibility. We have
But
an
if
obligation.
you
We
got
have a job to do.
raped,
Not
how
just
it's
me,
not
all
your
of
fault.
you.
You have
You
to
have a job to do in learning
make
the lessons
sure
that God
it
sent
is
you here to
your.
learn so that you can ascend to
You
peace.
have to stand up for
If that is not
yourself
your
now
goal,
and
if that
be
is
the
not your
advocate
purpose,
for
then
yourself
what are
and
you
be like,
doing?
I can't
Might
get a
as well
job. This
party
is my
with
job
Satan and have
applying
a
now
good time.
because that person
If you are not
took
working on
that
bettering
ability
yourself and
away
bettering
from
yourself
me.
to be with God in the end,
So
what are
therefore,
you doing?
tell your fucking God
Are you
to tell
holding
your people
out
to stop
hope that
fucking
you're going to be
and
able to take
raping
that
other
$1
children.
million, $2 million, $5 million with
Tell
you?
your God
Because when you pass
your
over, I
money
promise
is
there's
not good
many of
here.
my own ancestors, the pharaohs, that will tell you, you don't get to take it with you. It don't work that way. And
That's
just
funny
because
because
you
you've just been
die with $1
helping me
million
just
doesn't
fine
mean
with
you're
no
going to wake
money.
up in
Just
your
follow
next
my
life and
heart
anything at all.
with no
You
money.
could wake up in your next life and end up being a beggar on the street.
Interest,
You may go to, you may transition out
reservations,
thinking you're the best
planning,
thing since sliced bread. You're a
knowing,
dog
being
one.
truthful,
You look amazing.
faithful,
Everybody wants you. Everybody's dying to be with you. And you could wake up with scoliosis and everything
showing
else in your
people
next
what
life.
they're good at, gifts.
You put too much stock in the 3D. You put too much stock in the matrix. And then you end up sacrificing your soul. You end up sacrificing the ultimate goal. But that's the point, and I need you to hear me. Satan's job is to distract you with money, sex, fear, insecurity, anything to keep you from moving forward.
And that's why the United States put
Satan's job is to
the pyramids
instill
to
in
the
you
money.
confusion, illusions, all of those things. When in the reality of it is, if you stand up and you shine a spotlight on the person or people that is performing the behaviors, they squirm like cockroaches and they run because they don't want everybody looking
Judy
at them in
Garland
the light that you would point on them,
is
even if
for
it is the truth.
me.
Speak your truth and stop being so afraid of what they can do to you. Maybe they do, but you know what? If they do something, they will have to pay the consequences for that also because you have been protected by God and the divine. And I'm not one to sit here after 2 years of my life being threatened to believe that God's willing to allow anything to happen to somebody who is
Treat
still
another woman like
absolute
that.
remorse, humility, and willing to step forth and be a true seeker. My belief is that He will protect
My
them at all
Desi's
costs,
the one
because
that
they
will.
would have been like the prodigal son to him. And that is what I choose to believe. I choose to have faith in the Bible. That if that person was to step forward and say, I sinned,
I
was
hope
wrong,
my
and
kids
show
will never pick
remorse,
up that
that
Bible.
God would protect them and welcome them back in.
I
That is what
I
choose to
am
believe about my God.
trying to, protect my kids away
So
from
for
the
those
Bible.
of
That
you who
Bible
chose
is just,
to pretend like it
no.
wasn't going on, for those of you who chose to cower because you didn't want to be bullied by this witch and her little friends, I'm sorry, my love, but nothing changes until you are willing to make those changes, until you are willing to step forward in the light of the truth and put an end to them.
I
It's
feel
gonna
so
happen
free
regardless. I
knowing
promise you
that
this.
I'm
It
true to
doesn't
myself.
truly matter whether you do, but it matters for your own self-worth, your own
That I know
self-esteem,
what
your
I
own
saw,
soul
I'm telling
security.
and speaking the
That you
truth.
step forward and speak
Abuse
the
in
truth,
school
not
district.
because I need
My
to,
ancestors
but
are
because
right
you
there.
need
They're
to
screaming
know
and
for
they're telling
yourself
me.
that you are either a person of faith and of God, you are a person that is of virtue, or you're not. You need to make that call, but your time is up.
Mexico,
you waffling
calling.
and dragging your feet on making a choice of which side you want to be on.
And even the dragons, even the universe is calling the dragon.
Still be on the
And it's
side
like the year of the
of
dragon.
others, just by simply doing
So,
nothing. Those of you, including a pastor out there, know what's been done and you knew it was
a
wrong.
never-ending story.
I'm not 100%, excuse me, I'm not
And
100%
then
certain of
Harry
the backstory
Potter,
on that one, so
and
I'm
then my
kind of
brother
not
ends
touching
up
on it too
being
much.
a Potter
But
now.
there are many of you,
He changed his last name. He did not want to be a Cormany.
some of
And
you
now I
did it
gotta
because you
get
weren't
this
sure if I
DNA
was
test to
speaking
find
truth,
out
she
if
was
I
speaking
am a
truth, and that's
Cormany
what
or if I'm a Linfield.
if you thought that she was speaking truth, you had an obligation to go to the FBI
Keep
or
telling
somebody
me.
else and tell them this is what's going on, this is
Oh,
what
and
you just
FBI
said.
knew.
Probably
FBI
ought to look into it
doesn't do
because
shit.
it does involve crimes against humanity. Had you done that, they would have investigated me and found there was nothing to find. And I wish you had.
They've been trying
But
to
they would
block
have also
the
investigated
psychics and
her and
medium.
found what they should have found a
They're
long time
blocking
ago.
John Edwards. They
Every
knew
word I
exactly
spoke
who
was
he
true.
was. They were trying to see if they
So
were
when you heard the
more
conflicting sides, you still
passable.
had
They
an
wanted to see what
obligation to
he
step
knew.
forward and say
I
this is
hope
what's
I know
going
he
on,
probably ain't
something's
gonna
not
tell a
right,
lot of it.
and allow them to investigate
But
both
he
parties
does have a
and them to
duty
make the determination
because of
they
where
would have.
he's from.
They would have ultimately concluded I was being targeted and that she was the one targeting me because she didn't want her crimes to be found out. And that's the truth. So you're not exonerated because you felt bullied or you felt victimized.
So
You're not
where's the Pope
exonerated
from?
for any of those reasons. You had an obligation to stand up. You knew that there was things that were being spoken that
You
were
knew.
untrue. Or even if you had a question.
If she was a witch, she had to have known about this human sex trafficking. She had to have known. But where was she at?
Your children, then you have an obligation to speak public truth on those things. You have an obligation to go to the authorities on those things. Your silence is acquiescing to that bullying.
You know how many people went to authorities and they didn't get any help?
Then why are you letting your children be around them at all? And you and I both know
This
they
is
are.
the.
If they're
They end
murdering
up going.
children, then why are
Amanda
your children
Bynes.
being allowed to be around them at all? And I'm sorry, but that's fact.
How many more?
You know
How
that I've
many
spoken
more
truth because there's
kids?
so many readers out there that have validated the words I've spoken, and she's been proven to be a bold-faced liar more times than I care to admit. So let's
They're
put it this way.
sacrificing
If
children
you
in
know all of
Hollywood.
those
They've
things
been
to be true,
doing this.
irrespective of what else you know, then why are your children still allowed to be around her at all?
And Hollywood promotes
That's
this
what God's
God and
looking at
Jesus. They make you
What
buy.
steps did you
Buy.
take or not take?
So
Now, why
I'm not
should you
just a
be
regular
protected if
witch,
you're not
like
willing
I'm
to
not
protect
different,
other
I'm a
people? Why should
different.
your children be protected if you're not willing to
But
protect other people's
as
children?
in
With
yoga,
silence, you've
you
been
have to
apathetic,
branch
you
off
just
in that,
take
and that
it
is my way of saying
long because
yes and no, but she's
you
more.
were told it was always going to be this way. There was nothing better, nothing was ever going to work, nothing was going to make a difference. And here's the truth.
She just knows there's
This
magic
witch who
involved.
thinks she's badass and brazen and pounds on her chest and puffs it, she's at the bottom of the damn food chain. And her little criminal organization and crime syndicate, she's not running it. She knows about all of it, and that's how I hear about a lot of it. She's at the bottom of the damn food chain, so she's the most expendable of everybody. But here's the thing, she's the reason
She's
that
also
all
like
of them are
me.
gonna
We
get
just have to
she's the
stay
reason
quiet
all
and
of them
just
are gonna get
listen and
exposed
observe.
because she doesn't stop running her mouth.
Because I know
And I
there's
know she
more.
wants to tell everybody I'm making things up, blah, blah, blah. Honey, I wouldn't have half the intel I do, which has been validated if I was making
I want to say
stuff
so
up.
much in
So she
court,
can
but
yap
they're
off her
just
jaw as long as she
blocking
wants to.
me. I can't say anything. I
She's
can't
gonna
remember
have been the
anything
reason
in
that
court.
coven gets
And
out.
if I
And
write
I'm not
anything
talking
down,
about her and her
it
little girlfriend. I'm talking about
it
the senior
won't even
elders
make
in their
sense.
50s and 60s and 70s who trained her as a witch. They're about to be exposed for her crap too, and they should have got her a check a long time ago. They think they're protected, honey. I promise you, you're not. I promise you on my life, you're not. None of you are. None of you are. The secret society's also got members of it that will be exposed and go down. There's nothing to be done about it. It is going to happen. That is fact.
Because
Fact,
it's
and there's
already
no
cut.
variable
Like I
outside.
feel it already. I felt like
How many
this
more
already.
get exposed?
This
It's up to
is
you all. I can't say that. I
this is
told
a new
you
era.
you're
You know how like
gonna
the
say, I
bronze
told you
era,
your
the
witch
the
doesn't
copper.
shut up.
It's
And
gonna
now
be
you
like
are all
that.
under divine
So we
judgment
have to
for
find
not
out
cleaning up, not telling
what
the
we
truth, and
want.
allowing this to
Since
continue.
this is a new beginning,
Bronwyn
we get to
pointed
go
it
back
out
in
earlier,
history
and she is
and
nothing
find
more
out
greater to
what
say.
we
I
can
am
bring out
not
what was best in
simply
history,
an earth angel.
and then bring it to the
I
next
am
one, and then
an
that's how
angel
we grow.
on mission. That
Farming,
means that I
we
have
have
the
to
protection
protect
of
our
the
food.
host of heaven. I have the protection of most of the entities and principalities in the galaxy
What can and we cannot eat. We can't eat plastic, so we gotta stop making
She may
plastic.
not like it, she may want to call it a fake or fraud, whatever. She's only saying that because she tried to steal it from me and I wouldn't let her. She tried to steal my gifts, my future, my life. She tried to actually just take over, pretend she was Andrea Wells, and take over, Andrea Waterbury, and take over. And she's not. So that's me. She can't have my life. She wants it badly, but she can't have it. Tried to tell everybody I'm bougie and I've got money and I don't know what it's like to struggle. Honey, I've done nothing but struggle my whole life because these people will not stop
That's
attacking.
funny. I never heard about
I still do
bougie
it. I
until
smile. I
Native
still love
Americans.
helping people.
I've only heard Native Americans say
Because that's
bougie,
who I choose to be.
and that's where I got the term bougie. Like from when I went into
That in
the
each lifetime,
San Diego,
you have
and I
a soul
heard someone
contract.
say
This is a
bougie.
contract you take out with
And when
your
I was in
ancestors and God,
the
saying,
clinic,
this is what I'm going to learn.
I was
This is
taking
what
my
I'm
dad
going
to
do,
go
and
get
it varies for
medicine.
each person.
That's the
You have
first
a
time
twin
I
flame
heard the
contract if you
term
have one.
bougie.
If you have one.
I thought it was for Native Americans. Now I
Violations
hear everyone
of those
else
two
saying
contracts
it.
are also written into your soul contract, meaning if you violate it, the consequences of that are already stated in your soul contract.
I hear you.
That is not something to be taken lightly at all. That's a massive ass violation. To violate your soul contract is massive. To violate both, you must be insane. That's fact. Now, I want to talk about hell for a minute, because this is important.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Somebody had a curiosity.
I thought it was like kind of the boho chic,
Hell is very, very, very real.
chic,
Hell is not what
but with a
people
twist.
envision from the Bible. And you have to understand, let's talk about the Bible for a quick second. It's only taking this thing. People in the Bible, the authors, the prophets. I'm a prophet, so I can tell you this firsthand verbatim. People in the Bible, they can only receive the downloads in the context that they understand them. So they're not going to understand a download 2,000 years ago about cell phones, about social media, because it's not going to have any context or make sense. They can only interpret downloads in the context that makes sense to them at the time. Bear that in mind. So when I'm telling you this,
My dad told me.
hell based off of the context they were taught that hell was.
My dad tells me that when he was alive, that there's aliens in front of us and we don't even know. They're going hyperspeed.
I'm not saying it's not exclusively. So for example,
they're in a different wavelength than we are. I'm like, okay, so I almost try to see if I can catch them with my eye. And that's why I'm like, oh, that's what shadow peoples are? The shadow people are a different entity on top of what my dad just told me.
Or something along those lines. You're going to experience your mind, your consciousness, your soul is going to experience.
For Native Americans, we have a different source because we don't go into that Bible. It's if we don't touch the Bible, we have another source out
It's usually a little bit more dramatic than
of
that.
it.
So, and there's another person I know who has a fear of dying in childbirth. That person will experience
So
that
animals
for
will
the
come
rest
and
of
stuff like that.
eternity,
We'll
whatever
feel
it
other
is. And it
things
won't just
coming.
be fears manifested from this time, this life. It will be fears manifested from every other life that they may not even be aware that they have. They will play those out. I'm telling you, I had a vision, and it was my angel that took me on this vision.
We have imaginary friends, and that will be a form of an angel. It will be a form of that. If we don't keep up with our imagination and we grow out of it, we will lose that contact.
That haunted me as much as it was the absolute, utter agony I saw and felt in each person's face. And to me, a couple of the scenarios that I saw didn't look like that caused events. But it wasn't mine. It wasn't my fear, my anxiety, my insecurity. It was traumatizing that person, which leads me to how demons get created. Imagine putting somebody in that low a vibrational state, that energetic level, where you're literally replaying these traumas over on. That's what they tried to do to me, actually, great. You're replaying these traumas again and again and again.
That's how schizophrenia is.
That has the possibility to drive
Sometimes with schizophrenia, they will relive that trauma and it'll come out in a different way. And sometimes that baby will be born with people traumatizing that baby. There you go. Because of the parents' karma. That comes in the karma, see? Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna poison your own kid by not listening to your fucking child. You're gonna kill your child, and that's what karma is all about. So I'm telling my ancestors, like, I ain't one of them. What are you doing? Well, then you're gonna break the curse. So voila, here I am.
Shameful to you, and that will continue to personify. It will continue to manifest until ultimately either you deal with it, which most people don't, or you get so traumatized from it you turn demonic or dark. That's how poltergeists are also formed. So it's a shame, but I'm telling you, people think that this stuff's not real. You can also, as a matter of fact, you can also experience hell on earth. It is a cliche, but it's driven from something actually very real. So as part of your divine judgment, you can experience hell on earth, meaning if your judgment is to start experiencing, let's go back to the abandonment thing,
And
you will begin to experience everyone in your life begin to abandon you. If your curse or whatever is poverty, you will begin to experience poverty before.
So,
it depends on what God has determined your karma is to be. Your
Holly, Bonnie Holly, and Mike Holly, they were very religious and they went to church a lot.
You are under divine judgment.
He keeps popping up too. He was in the military, so he's ratting everybody else out, and I'm giving him information too. So that cheese comes up too.
Not really a huge difference, but I did want to explain the spiritual court piece so that you could
And
understand.
yesterday when I went walking outside of the 99-cent store, and the license plate, one of the license plates says Bum
It
613.
is good to honor them because those are the people that protect
Meaning
you.
the United States knows exactly what they're doing.
Go behind your back. They're the people that are trying to encourage you when you're feeling down. They're people who are trying to send you messages about you being on the wrong path or you need to learn
People
this
who
lesson.
read the Bible
That can exclusively
are all
to my
brainwashed.
chagrin, make choices behind your back
They're
that
Bum
they think are in your best
613.
interest. At this point, mine
They're
own
Bum.
myself are at a little bit of an odds, but it is what it is. We're going to work through it as we always do. They are always fighting for your best interest. Always. But here's the thing. I've never seen it before. I haven't until this lifetime, but I've never seen it. This lifetime, I've seen it multiple times. This witch coven has lost the backing of their ancestors. They've lost their gift, and their ancestors will not help them at all. They will not help them. Their names, as I heard it, where did I hear that last week? Have been erased from their ancestral line. They have no backing, no protection. I can't help with that, and I don't even. I've never even seen
I was
it.
asking last night because
Fix that.
a lot of the names start popping up. A long time ago, I guess like babies weren't. A lot of babies didn't make it, so they would name the babies the same name. That is a form of a curse. And that's why I'm like, I couldn't do that. I had to name a baby. I had to go through a process. There was a process for me to mourn. There was a process for me to make sure I gave the baby the correct burial. It was difficult, but I made sure that the baby was given a name, a proper name. No, that I did not like the name, but it was meaningful, and I accepted the name. So,
what you see them experiencing is not me. I don't do witchcraft. I've never been comfortable with the idea, and frankly, I didn't even know it was really real. What you see them going through is a product of their own judgment, a product of the things, the choices that they chose to make. You not stepping forward and speaking truth about them only puts you in a negative light because the federal authorities are aware that entire community knew what people were doing to those children, doing to me, and doing criminally behind the back. And I'm including the police officers who were gang stalking because you.
They knew all this, so she's like, so she just completely woke up. So much she just woke up last year.
For being a part of both of these criminal operations. One of them is only a misogynist, kind of an asshole group.
This has been going on. Princess Diana's a victim of
The other
this.
one is an entire criminal operation of insanity. I don't know why you never turned her in.
Why 9/11 happened.
Why you would want your name attached to anything that she's a
If
part
Princess
of.
Diana was alive today,
Crimes against humanity.
or she was alive
You don't understand what you've done to
when
your
it
family.
didn't happen, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. If Princess Diana never got in that car accident, 9/11 wouldn't have happened.
You're about to go down for crimes against humanity because I don't know and I don't see the feds make me a real big concern ever.
I'll put everything on that.
To figure out if you
I know
knew
it.
about this particular part
With
of it,
that
not that
said,
particular part of it. My thought is, and I could be
Princess
wrong,
Diana
they're
died
more
when
fun
I
just
was
lump
just
you
a
all in
child.
the same group and prosecute you together, which is
But
what I would do.
what I found out, I
Why
had
pick
no
apart who
idea.
knew
I
what?
just felt
You
sick.
all
I just felt
knew
something was
it was
wrong.
bad. You all did it
And the
anyway.
name popped up, and as soon as I put on the TV,
This is what you've learned.
that's
This
what I
is the
got,
legacy
and I
you chose to leave to
immediately,
your kids and your
it
grandkids.
felt like a slap. It
This is
felt
what they
like
will be humiliated for in school. You could pass away. Yeah, you don't have to deal with the shame and the guilt of it.
it
That's
wasn't supposed to
wonderful.
happen.
But your grandkids will. Your kids will. Your great
So
grandkids
I
will. They
know
will
that
be remembered as the people who tried to steal the divine destiny of an earthly
I know that our
incarnated
ancestors
angel and who
and
kept
others were
attacking
giving
for
out war
criminal trafficking.
signals and other
That
things
is
to
the
other
legacy
people
you're
to
leaving
tell
behind
it
your
warning
families.
signs.
Well done.
It happens.
They will have to carry the shame, the guilt, the degradation of people mocking them, ridiculing them, pointing a finger and laughing. And I'm not telling you because I want that for you. I'm telling you that because what you've done and
These
you don't think
people
about
should
the
be ashamed of
consequences
themselves
that you
because
cause other people
the
when you
United
do stupid
States
crap.
don't even know their own history.
And
We
that's
have
bad.
black
You just do it because it feels good
men
inside. You do it because you got a high. You do it
that
because
didn't even
somebody
know
makes
about
you feel good
slavery.
about yourself. But you don't
We
think
have black
about how it's going
women
to
that
manifest
don't
or
even
how
know
it's
about
going to
slavery.
manifest a year down the line, 2 years down the line, because somebody told you, oh, that'll
We have
never happen.
Mexicans going
Then
around
somebody
thinking
had a
that they're
vested
full-on
interest in making
Mexicans
sure
and
you
not
stayed
even
on the team
Native
because they needed
Americans.
you to shut your mouth or they needed you to help.
What about their
But you didn't think
history?
about that.
What
You
about
thought, oh,
them?
they're in love with me. Oh, they're
This
a
Bible
good
does not
play. Oh,
say
I
that.
can't talk because I'm going to get in trouble. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble, hon. I can't help you. But you're going to get in more trouble now because you didn't speak truth that you would have if you would have spoken truth and owned it. What do you want me to do? I was there every step of the way telling you. She just told you that I was lying because I wanted to get out of it. No, of course I did. I'm not going to lie.
He said, she
But
said,
it was
she
also
said this.
telling you because
Just
we're
walk
trying to
away
help
and
you
go,
save
you know what, I'll
yourself.
leave it up. I'll come back, gotcha. That's exactly what I did.
Listen, it is what it is. I needed you to understand.
I
That
knew
you
my
could have war
ancestors
with
said
me,
they
but I
got him.
cannot help you.
And my
I
dad said he
cannot
got him.
save you. I cannot
And for me,
interfere with your judgment. What
they're like,
you
don't see it.
what
It's
you are
nasty. What they're
experiencing
doing to them,
is
it's
God.
nasty.
Because of what you chose to do. I cannot save you. I
And they
cannot.
go, don't even
I
think about
cannot.
it. Don't even
You
think
failed
about
your
it.
test. That's all I can
Just
say.
keep
You
working on
failed your
yourself
test.
because
And what you and
they're
your
wishing
families are
the worst on
experiencing
you.
is God. I cannot interfere, and I will not. What you are experiencing is divine, is
So all I can do is, if you want, alright,
how could you not
go with
know
everybody.
the
I'm in my
consequences
own
of the
zone,
actions that you were taking? You just did it.
minding my own
Didn't care. And
business.
for the rest of you, you just sat by and watched it. Maybe you felt bad, maybe you felt horrible, but you did sit by and just watch it. So what do you want me to do? I'm not going to interfere because I'm not going to risk everything that I've suffered to gain so that you can feel better and sleep better at night. You should have told the truth. And you didn't. And it is what it is. So, I mean, I wish you the best of luck, and I don't want you to have to suffer. But I'm not going to intercede on your behalf.
Don't watch me, please do
I've
watch me.
offered to do that before. I offered to even not bring not bring civil suit against you if you would simply tell the truth and go heal. But you refused my offers. You refused my offers to heal. You refused my offers to help. You refused me even to take down the social media posts exposing you all if you would stop this nonsense. You refused. So you have to deal with the consequences now. You were told. You know. You were told to get this witch under control, and you were told repeatedly the cost of allowing her to continue her nonsense. And so, matriarch, Elaine, all the rest of you, you know full well what's heading your way. You know why.
There's a lot of witches.
Elaine is one that'll pass.
Alright, I'm
Her
against
brother,
these.
the uncle, he's one that's going to pass also. The Scorpio, he's going to pass also. I'm not telling you these things because I'm gleeful and joyful. I'm telling you these things because that's what's about to happen because of the choices they have chosen to make. Their choice is to continue
So funny
attacking
because,
me. Whether they cognitively did that or just did not stop
synchronizing.
this witch from doing it is irrespective. She was their responsibility and they did not put an end to it. So they are held accountable in both spiritual and secular. It's that. Good evening to you all. I hope the information was helpful and I just all needed to understand why.
Because when you put God into something, you're not gonna get the full story. Because God is the full story. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's funny.
worry about if you think I'm special. I can't worry about if you think I'm powerful.
How can we be at war with the parties that made the magic and we want the history of the magic to be brought back into the present and then pushed into the future? I appreciate my pops teaching me.
They take everybody's ideas. These producers and stuff, they'll just take everybody's ideas and just free for all. Well, everyone's doing that. Because I didn't want to be a YouTuber, only my son. So this is for him.
There's the highest level. The highest level is ownership. The highest level is power. The highest level is sovereignty. The highest level is higher country. The highest level is when we own our own country. Very high level. Not eye level. A high level.
I don't know what this is.
Another high level conversation. High level conversation. Tap in with the guy.
I built a 750.
Now this is really good compared to the other one.
Okay, so basically we've now just finished talking about and listing and looking at all the statistics so that people can see that this is real. This radiation is real. Now let's look at the different ways and list them and remind them how the global depopulation plan is being put in effect. And these are 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways. The first one being the polar vortex radiation cycle. Could you just bring us through that one again, just to make it absolutely clear for people?
Yes. When I explained the polar vortex and the very large increase, alarming increase in radiation levels across the United States from that nuclear typhoon, which was diverted to the Arctic and then split into 2 plumes, I mean, you know, I'm a scientist, I'm a geoscientist, but I also love people. That's why I'm doing this. And I have to tell you, Alfred, I just almost couldn't believe that there were maniacs who would actually do this to every living thing on this planet. And I want to acknowledge to the audience that this sounds so otherworldly or just impossible to happen, but it has happened, and we are in a global extinction, and it's not hopeless. First, we have to have the right information, and Alfred, that's what you and I have been doing. Then we have to give people ideas on how to conduct themselves and what methodology to use for clean food, for clean water, and so forth and so on. And then we work on the political solutions, the governmental solutions, we need to reorganize humanity. But some of that just happens naturally when people come together over an issue. It brings people together, and they start sharing ideas, and they start finding solutions, really surprising
That's
ones.
what I went on YouTube.
So this is not hopeless.
They will find a way.
But
Life finds a
we're
way.
in the very beginning of a very, very dangerous process. And so when we discuss Putin's plan, I hope that people understand that there are leaders out there, global leaders, who are concerned about this and who oppose it. It's the weak ones, or the greedy ones, or the ones with character defects such as sociopathy and people who are just psychopaths. They're born that way, or they're created that way by bad parenting or environment. So
Justin
these
Trudeau.
are we're telling a very tall tale here, but it's well documented. It's scientifically backed up. It's peer-reviewed, published papers that I'm quoting and everything. So the scientific community is very aware of what's happening. The governments are very aware. The high levels of the military are very aware, and most of all, the medical profession, which is controlled in the United States by the Pentagon, by the military, to protect their weapons that kill everyone. They are the biggest problem, I think, because they are motivated more than anyone else, except maybe politicians who are involved in companies that sell these weapons, and they profit themselves, so they have a direct incentive. There are these are very complicated issues.
Who's going to heal them? That was my
Putin,
freaking problem when I went on that fucking ship.
He's a very complex man. The Russian situation is very complex, but I think that people can get grounded in Russia and what Russia is doing and the steps they're taking and the steps Putin is taking to help all of humanity. He's not just helping Russians or just helping his oligarch friends. He's really dedicated and committed to creating a healthy society that is productive and also changing the whole global banking system, which is why we've ended up in this nightmare. So that's what I wanted to say to the public and assure them that I'm just as horrified and I was in just as much disbelief as they probably are. But if you go slowly and you listen carefully and you go onto the internet or into libraries or talk to friends who work in different areas of this nightmare, you will begin to build your own database of information, and you will know what information to trust and what not to, and also how to do critical thinking. I mean, this is a great adventure. It's a great
because now they're putting out cameras, and now it's a good time to put on a show. Put it on
to mature,
here.
to grow
Well,
and
not doing
develop.
anything, you know?
So don't be afraid. Just wade into the waters and trust that you'll learn how to swim.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, who is really behind this depopulation program? I mean, I know that we were talking about this before the program, and we're going to get into some of the detailed programs to finish this off. But who is driving all of this? Who really wants to get rid of us all?
Well, watching these harp storms and these nuclear typhoons being manipulated was truly horrifying for me. That's what I really had a hard time getting a grip on or accepting that it was really happening.
Will punish you.
But I
Poseidon will
just
give you
reported,
hair.
I mentioned, we talked about the polar vortex already.
His hair was already
And that
washed.
term,
So
polar
when
vortex,
Poseidon takes him, the
is
Poseidon will
a new
take him
term
to Hera,
for
and then you'll get more punishment that way.
and people in the official media for what is a HARP phenomenon. It's artificially created to cause depopulation, but to hide it, they have to think up new words and new terms and new labels,
Depending on
and then
where the
later on
child
they'll
was
rebrand them and call
in the
them
water.
something else.
Depending on
But,
what it was. Either way,
When
water,
I was
Poseidon,
watching the wind
the
map,
water is also
and I
comes in for
saw
other
a
things.
typhoon go from Taiwan up to offshore from Fukushima, and then it did a big U-turn and it went all the way down to New Zealand. Well, that isn't what storms normally do. They don't just globe-trot all over the world wherever they want to. There are air currents and ocean currents and all kinds of natural cycles within cycles that determine where